Okay, welcome to C++. This is Unit 1. I want to cover a couple topics with you, mainly comments and outputting. Okay, so those are the two most important topics in Unit 1 is basically outputting and the comments section. Okay, I'm in Riplet right now. We have a simple program that was created by Riplet. It has include IOStream, int main function begin. It has std : cout hello world \n. Okay, and if you go ahead and run this, it says hello world. Okay, so let's just go over these couple items and then I'll show you some changes we could do to this. The very first thing I want to talk about is this include IOStream. Okay, include IOStream allows us to bring this package into our program. If you're coming from Python, you probably remember us bringing modules in. It's the same kind of concept. When we brought the module turtle in, it allowed us to work with turtles and windows and all that good stuff. When I bring this IOStream package in, it allows me to input and output in my code. So I don't have to rewrite that code over and over again. I just bring that package in and it already pre-exists. Okay, so you just got to remember include # include bracket, angle bracket, IOStream, close angle bracket. Okay, that brings in a package which allows us to output and input from the keyboard, okay, to the monitor. The next is int main. This is called a main function. You can always identify a main function because it has parentheses. There's a name with parentheses. Anytime you have a name with parentheses, you know you're talking about some type of method or a function. And what is a method or a function? It's just a small program, okay? C++ has some built-in functions we'll be going over later that pre-exist. You just call a function and it does what it's supposed to do, okay? But you can think of a method and or function as a small program, whether you write it or whether the computer has it built in. So here we're talking about the main function or main driver, main method. This angle bracket here, that open brace, that means begin. Now sometimes you'll see it there at the end of main. Sometimes you'll see it down to the next line. So sometimes you'll see it right there. And these two should line up. Begin, it says begin main, end main. All code for the main function exists between the begin and end brace. Okay, so right now we only have one line of code, and that's std : cout hello world \n semicolon. Okay, this is called a statement. All statements end in a semicolon. This is called a cout statement. It allows us to output to the screen, and this arrows, double arrows, points to the stream that it's outputting to the monitor. Okay. Hello world will be printed out as you see it, and \n stands for new line. Okay, so it's like hitting the enter key after you type in hello world. It puts the cursor down to the next line to start print. Okay, so let's try that. Let's see if the new line works. Again, I have to use std : count. And I'll put hello world, welcome to TJ. And must end in a semicolon. Since that's a statement, it's inside the main. Anything between the brackets here must end in a semicolon, except if it's an if statement, loops, which we'll go over later. But any statements must end in a semicolon. So if I go ahead and run this, notice it appears on two lines. So this \n puts the next print on the next line. If I move that, let's go ahead and delete that and run it again. Notice it's on one line. Okay. Now C++, we could do something like this. Let's say I have more than one item I want to print out. I could go ahead and move this statement up here. Get rid of this. So instead of making two lines for an output, I could do two line or one big long line. Again, the messages are separated by double arrows. Hello world, new line, double arrows, welcome to TJ. And I should get basically the same results, which I do, okay? And if I want to put another output statement, again, I use double arrows and I'll just put hi, and that would also print out. But notice there's no \n on this one, so hi should be next to TJ when I print it out. And notice hi is right beside TJ over here, okay? Now, this std, : you don't need it there if you don't want it there. Every time you do a cout, you would have to put it there. But if you go ahead and put this line here in, using namespace, you could remove this std. You could just use cout by itself, okay? So you don't need that prefix anymore. You just go ahead and cout as you see it. And again, we got the same output, okay? We didn't have to put the std : because we put using namespace std. So wherever there's a system.out, it automatically do the standard, okay? So that is outputting, and you can have many outputs as you want. Again, also with cout, I could put, let's put TJ something like this. I need to close my parentheses. There we go. That little red line was telling me I had a little error, and I forgot to close my parentheses, double quotes, I'm sorry. So now it will print hello world, new line, welcome to TJ, hi, one line. TJ, end line, this stands for end line. This is the same thing as \T. Now if I use our \n, if I use a \n needs to be in double quotes. If you notice \n is between the double quotes in hello world. I can use end line, and notice number 1 should appear on its own line. Let's go ahead and run it, and notice number 1 does appear on its own line. Okay, so you can use an end line if you want. That's the same thing as hit the enter key. If you want to use \n or \n, it'll do the exact same thing. It'll push it to the next line as well. Okay, so either end line, end L, or \n inside of double quotes. Okay, so that is outputting. Next thing I want to do is cover comments, and you have 2 types of comments. Okay, the first type of comments I want to talk about are your multi-line comments, and that's /* and then */. Okay, and anything between there is a comment. Comments are mainly for leaving messages for people, other programmers. Really, the compiler totally ignores comments. Okay, and it's always good to start your program with some type of comment identifying yourself, what period you're in, maybe the date, what program this is. This is Unit 1, Program 2, or something like that. Okay. C++ also has single line comments. Okay, and I could go ahead and put a single line comment, and that is just // and this means begin main. Okay, and if I want to, let's say this was a very important message here on this line, I just put something like important formula or something like that. And then people could go ahead and read my program. Down on the right side, all comments should be pushed over to the right, away from the code, so it doesn't crash into it. And then I can just scroll down this multi-page program and find out the area that I'm looking for. So it's good to leave little comments. Hey, especially when it comes to like a formula you use, identify that spot in the program where that formula is being used so they can look over your formula, okay? Or anything else important. You don't have to comment each and every line, but each and every section should be commented some way, letting you know when you're scrolling through someone's program, hey, this is the import section, this is the output section, this is where we declare variables, this is an important formula that you might need to look over or change. Okay, and again, the compiler totally ignores comments. Okay, so these are the two types of comments. There's a third comment we'll go over a little bit later. Okay, so right now this was about the two types of comments: multi-line comments, single line comments, and how to output. Remember, we did output cout by itself by putting this line here and using namespace std colon or semicolon. Okay, that wraps up this video. If you have any questions, see me after class, PDLT, or just send me an email. Have a nice day.